Hi guys, finally back streaming for the first time this year. Wanted to start working on my little Rails travel map app again. This is a project I started at the end of last year over the holidays. As a, I guess, non-technical person, I wanted to experiment with some vibe coding tools and see if I could build my own functional Rails app. And I did over 3 or 4 sessions. And what ended up being like maybe 10 hours or so ended up building a cool little working web app. It's not pretty, but the idea it was to create an app that allowed users to go in and select countries that they visited, as well as the frequency of visits to each country to create like a heat map of places traveled to, because I am a big traveler. I am a chronic repeat traveler. Like I often go to the same countries over and over again because I love them rather than going to new countries, which is kind of a problem. But that being said, I wanted to create like a little app where by using a heat map, it kind of provides a more accurate picture of like my travel history than just filling in the countries that I visited. And I will share a little demo of what we've already accomplished shortly. I'm going to share this on social first, but today I was getting kind of bored of this process when I was working on it last, because I was literally just prompting Claude and reprompting and seeing what happened and like, no, do this differently. It honestly just stopped being interesting to me at a certain point. So my intention in this stream is to kind of slow it down a little bit, have Claude explain like the options and reasoning behind them more, so that I'm maybe actually learning something. And yeah, to like also create just a better app. Like I don't expect anyone to use this app other than me. This is all experimental and just for fun. But it would be cool to think more deeply about the logic and the way we're making decisions, and the kind of overall experience around this app, both technically and in terms of data modeling, which is going to be more of my focus today. So I rambled for 3 minutes now to no one, and I will go ahead and share this on social and see if anyone wants to join. Bear with me. 0 people here. It's like 12:30 here, so I'm a little sleepy, but this is actually a good time for me to do this because, yeah, I don't know. I always do my best computer stuff later at night. I don't know what's wrong with me. Also, I got a haircut. It's sitting a bit weird, but I like it. It feels kind of like vintage or like retro in a way. It's sitting really funny right now, though. Can't quite get it right, regardless. And okay, I'm gonna post this on Blue Sky. Move this window here, and then I'll share my screen here in a little bit. Finally streaming again. Oh, also, I got a key light finally. It's like a really pathetic, sad excuse for a key light. I got it for €20 at this random shop because it was the best thing I could find. I went to an electronics store and they didn't have key lights, so I had to go to like some like cheesy gift shop and found this cheap piece of shit, but it's better than nothing, maybe. Okay. Finally streaming again. Working on vibe coding my Rails travel map app, but with more intentionality. I guess you could say that. More intentionality and with a greater focus on data modeling to create a more accurate picture of how a person experiences places they've traveled to. It's so long-winded, whatever. Join in. Okay, share. I'm coding my Rails travel map app, but with more intentionality and a greater focus on data modeling to create. Why not add an emoji? Globe emoji. Okay. And for some reason, I don't have my Twitter password saved on my desktop Chrome, so I'm gonna share on Twitter on mobile. Hey, how's it going? And if literally no one joins, that's fine, because I kind of just want to work on this anyway. Finally streaming again. But yeah, it has been a few weeks, so forgive me if it takes like some extra time for me to set everything back up and get back into the swing of it. Hi, how's it going? Okay. So I've already given the preamble. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Codespaces, and I will start sharing my screen shortly. So for anyone watching this who wasn't in the initial streams, my setup today is like super low-key, low maintenance. I'm doing everything in browser using GitHub Codespaces. Log into GitHub. Oh, one funny thing that I found out recently, I was hanging out with some Ruby developer friends, and apparently I have made more open source contributions than both of them. I can't talk. It's almost 1 a.m. I've made more open source contributions than both of them have, which I thought was really, I don't know, either funny or sad. But I guess they don't really do much open source work in their day jobs, which is fair enough. But I thought it was kind of cool that, yeah, I'm not a developer, but I still have open source contributions on my GitHub. God, I wish my bangs would just be normal. Okay. Okay, Codespaces. The editor could not be opened because the file was not found. What the fuck does that mean? Hi, just getting set up here. Okay. Setting up your code space. Okay, here we go. And I'll also pull up a link to the live app as it exists now on Render. And then do a little walkthrough just to catch everyone in quotes up. My friend, I feel so bad for her. She's texting me. She's having a terrible night. She had like a really awkward bad date, like bad first date earlier tonight. And she cut it short and came over to my house because I'm living in the center of the city right now, which is really nice. So she just came over to my house and we had a glass of wine and recapped her evening. And then she was telling me about this other guy she met last night who she really wanted to see again, who she was texting. But then this other guy from the same night last night who was interested in her and texting her, but she wasn't interested in him at all. And when she left my house, she ended up going to the same bar just to say hi to the bartenders because they're friends. And she ended up running into the guy from last night who she wasn't interested in. And now she is stuck there talking to him. So not only did she have a bad date with someone she wasn't interested in earlier tonight, but then now she's kind of stuck on like a second bad date on accident, which isn't funny. I shouldn't be laughing, but it is kind of funny how things work. Okay. 1 second. It's been so long since I've played with this. I need to find all of the things. Okay. I wonder if this cheap key light, ring light, is even doing anything because I feel like it's not. It's okay. Oh, I should put on music. I keep getting in trouble though with this like quote unquote royalty free music on Spotify because the playlists say they're royalty free, but then I publish my stream and an hour later YouTube's like, hey, this was copyright. We're flagging your video. Just like, why can't I just listen to normal music? We'll see how this goes. Okay. Okay. Okay, sharing my screen now. Okay. So this is where we left off last time. This is the app, so a user can sign in, as I've done, and basically select countries that they've traveled to, and also a number of times they've traveled to each country, to create like a heat map. Actually, I think there's some changes from last time that we didn't even deploy, because we also added in a way for users to rate each country that they've been to on a scale of 1 to 10, and toggle between two separate maps, like a frequency heat map and a most liked destinations heat map, which, yeah, looks like was never deployed. Hold on. Hi, Claude. Last time we were working on this, we made several changes to the app, including adding the option for users to rate countries on a scale of 1 to 10 and toggle between heat maps. Can we deploy those changes? Claude's like, oh my god, that was so long ago. Ugh, my hair is annoying the fuck out of me. Okay. They're already committed. Already committed. Maybe they're not merged. Your local branch has diverged from origin. Your latest commit with the ratings map toggle and note is only local. Let me check. It's on origin. Okay, your changes have been pushed to GitHub. Cool. Okay, deploying. Cool. So we'll wait for that to deploy for a second, and then I guess, test those changes. I tested them locally last time, at least, and also kind of walk through what the app looks like now. But the idea today is I really want to think more deeply about, like, what does it mean to actually love a place, or how can we paint the most accurate possible representation of a person's travel history and preferences in a map view. And I like the frequency heat map. That's well beyond what I get from actual apps that exist. Like, I have this app that I use called Bin, and I'll show you. And I've shared this before, but basically it allows you to input the countries you visited and literally just see them on a map, which doesn't tell you much, considering I've been to Japan 6 times. I've been to, France probably 6 times. I don't even know how many times I've been to France at this point. But like when you visit certain places frequently, that should carry some weight. Like when you're just looking at like a map where a person selected the countries they've been to. It often doesn't tell the full story. So even just having the frequency heat map is way better than this. But what I would like to do is figure out how to combine both the frequency data and the ratings of how much a person liked a country, and have like a sort of more conclusive number that weighs both frequency of visits and rating, and also potentially sentiment analysis of notes that a user inputs about a certain country. And that definitely will not be tonight. But I also added in last time the ability for users to add short notes, maybe like what they liked about a place or didn't like. Anyway, has this deployed yet? I'm not tired, but my brain feels tired, if that makes sense. Maybe that doesn't make sense. I've just been doing a lot of work today and yesterday. While it's deploying, we can also just walk through it locally. Where's the map? There it is. Okay. So similar to what I just shared, here is the map view. The home country, a person's home country, is indicated in blue. And then you can see the sort of scale here. I still really hate that French Guiana is highlighted if you've been to France, and apparently also these other French colonies. But that's something that I was trying to fix on my first stream, and just it was a huge waste of time. So we'll get back to that later. Anyway, so you can also toggle to see a heat map of country ratings. Obviously, I really didn't like Spain. I don't love the colors here, because when you look at visits, the darker the colors, like the darker orange, reds, and pink, indicate like frequently visited places, whereas similar colors like red, yellow, and orange on the ratings map indicate lower rated countries. I don't feel like that's very intuitive. I also don't like that the scale goes from 1 to 10, because all of the colors sort of look the same, because most places are going to be rated like 6 to 8 probably. And I just don't think that so much nuance in a 1 to 10 rating scale is actually helpful at all. So what I want to do is I want to simplify this, allow users to rate a country between 1 and 5 instead of 1 and 10. Maybe adjust the colors again. So that's one thing I want to do right off the bat. Just curious if this finished applying now. I mean, we can just start in on this. Finally, after 25 minutes of me just chattering. Okay. Hi guys, how's it going? Today, if you haven't been here before, I am vibe coding a simple Rails app using GitHub Codespaces, Claude Opus 4.5, everything in browser. And focusing today more on data modeling and trying to figure out the best way to visually represent a user's travel preferences on a map. Okay, so first things first, I would like to update the scale for the country ratings from 1 to 10 to 1 to 5. So this is super simple change. Okay. Okay, map colors updated to 5 colors: red, orange, yellow. Okay, let's see. I wonder how they're going to treat existing data. You also need to update the country rating key on that. Yeah, this is a good warm-up for getting into streaming and vibe coding again, because the emojis. Hey, how's it going? Okay, rating, okay. Visited, no rating, it's in purple. Yeah, we really need to change these colors. I think we need to update the colors for the country ratings, because the low ranked countries appear in bright colors like red and orange, which we use for more frequently visited countries on the other maps, so it's a bit confusing to toggle between them. It's a bit confusing to toggle between them. How should we best approach this? Yeah, I actually think this key light I bought isn't doing anything. It's so small. Hi guys. How's everyone doing this evening? Okay. You're right, that's confusing. No shit. Okay. Blue to green scale. I don't like that. Purple scale. Could do. Gray scale to green. Let's try purple. Let's just see how that looks. With this, and visited countries not yet rated could be dark gray, maybe. Hey, how's it going? Okay, let's see how this looks. So here we have the frequency heat map, and then we toggle to rating. I don't like this. I don't like this. This is really hard. I think we need to use multiple colors, not just different shades of the same color. This really all sort of blends together to me. It feels like just like a meaningless visualization. I think we need to use multiple different colors to give the because when I look at this, it's just like a blob of purple. It doesn't really tell me anything. Okay, let's see. Steel blue, teal, green, lime green, gold. All right, let's see. I'm not convinced this is gonna look good, but let's see. Well, okay, I think the first problem here is that almost all of my countries are rated a 4 out of 5. So that's problem number one. But also the scale is stupid looking. Like, why would yellow be better than green? No, no, no. Maybe we just need to go back to using the red to green scale. It feels the most intuitive and differentiated. But then we run into the problem with, like, this becomes a confusing experience when on the frequency map, countries you've visited more often and therefore probably like more are shown in bright colors like red and orange, and it's the opposite on the rating map. But we might need to update the travel frequency map colors to create a clearer. I mean, this feels like such a silly thing, like picking the colors to represent different ratings, but this has honestly been such a hassle trying to figure out how to make this work in a way that feels right. Okay, Claude wants to switch the frequency map to a blue-purple scale. I have a feeling I'm not going to like that, but let's find out. I don't like it. Don't like it. This is better, but again, like, too many of my countries are just rated a 4. Let me like mix this up a bit. Austria was honestly a 3. Belgium is fine. It's a 4. 3. Okay, Bulgaria was like 2. Canada's great, but it's not a 5. Costa Rica's like 2. There's just 4. Czech Republic. 4. Denmark can be 4. Egypt's a 4. Finland, France is a 5. Germany. Greece can be a 5. Hey guys, how's it going? Let's see. Hong Kong. I really liked Hong Kong. Give it a 4. Hungary. I really like the ruined pubs. I can give it a 4. Iceland gets a 5. India gets a 3. Ireland, solid 4, I guess. Italy can get a 5. Japan, definitely a 5. Jordan was pretty cool. Korea 4 as well. Malta 3. Monaco is dope. Montenegro also dope. Honestly, Malta can get a 2. I don't know. This is actually quite hard. Netherlands. I really like the Netherlands. Love Norway. Poland gets a 4. Portugal gets a 4. Serbia gets a 2. Okay, this is controversial, but I'm giving Singapore 2. I don't love Singapore. Slovenia, I really like Slovenia. Spain gets a 2, not for me. Sri Lanka gets a 3. Sweden is close to a 5 for me, but I'm going to give it a 4. Switzerland. Turkey 4, UAE 3. Okay, well this is nicer. This at least makes my map look less flat. I like this. I feel like I need to rank a 1. Honestly, it wasn't fair to give Austria a 3. Austria gets a 4. Honestly, Bulgaria can get a 1. Okay. And home country visualize with blue. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Now let's switch back to this situation, this problem. Okay, I like the color choices for the country ratings map, but we need to work on the colors for the frequency heat map. You should just Google, like, what are... Maybe I should just Google, look up, like, other world map, heat map for inspiration. Yeah, like this is the typical experience, which is what we had before. Red for highly visited countries, and blue for, or like green for less frequently visited countries. Like, I really think this is like the standard and expected experience. It just, yeah, is lame how it conflicts with this. Wait. Where did all my ratings go? Did they not save? Okay. Weird. I think we need to revert it back to the old colors because they are more standard for humans. I love how I'm going to spend like an hour just tweaking the colors of these countries and not even get to the work that I wanted to do tonight. We'll get there. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to accept this. Maybe we can improve the UX a little bit by just adding like more distinct labels between the two views. Hey, how's it going? I'll warn you in advance, this is incredibly boring, but welcome. Okay. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, I'm reasonably happy with this now. Now we can get into some more fun and interesting stuff. So, first things first, I really want to start slowing Claude down a little bit, and asking it to sort of present when we ask it to do something, sort of explain different options and reasoning behind why each, like reasoning behind each of them, instead of just doing, so that maybe I can learn a little bit more and understand why we're making certain choices. And also, for us humans, namely me, I'm a human, to guide the process a little bit more than I have been doing, which was just a lot of like, Claude, do this. Okay, now do this. Now do this. So, okay, now let's merge these changes first. Commit, add a commit message. Added, updated scale and colors used for travel rating, heat map, and improved UX. What does this mean? There are no staged changes to commit. Yes, I think so. This royalty-free song is called Travel Vibe. Not generic at all. Okay, did that work? Okay. Are we merged? And we're merged. Cool. Okay, now let's start actually having fun. Hi, how's it going? Okay. Now we are going to start slowing down this process a little more. When I ask you to make changes before starting, I would like you to present me with different options and explain the reasoning behind each, both structurally, architecturally, and in terms of UX, etc., so we can discuss possible trade-offs, etc., and find the best approach more collaboratively. You know, for me, talking to LLMs is actually great because I tend to be, like, I prefer to be an overly verbose person. Obviously. Like I would like something that could be said in a sentence, I would prefer to say it in 2 paragraphs. And LLMs actually don't mind that. So, okay. Sounds great. I'll adopt a more consultative approach going forward, present options, explain reasoning, discuss together, implement. Great. Okay. So, the first thing I want to do is consider how we can create sort of a super country score that considers both frequency of visits and country rating. So to start, I want to consider the best approach for creating a super country score that takes into account both the frequency of visits and rating, and weighs those together to paint the most accurate possible picture of someone's travel history and preferences in a map view. Well, first off, frequency. The frequency score should be based on the user's own activity and not considered based on, while 10 visits to X country might be a lot to one person, it might not be for another, so needs to be weighted against how often they travel to other places. The rating should probably have more weight. I mean, this is hard. This is an interesting thought experiment, I guess. What's more important? Travel rating? Like, say you go to a place once, like for me, for example, Slovenia. I have only been to Slovenia once. I loved Slovenia. Oh my God. Had a really, really great time there, but, haven't made a point of going back. Even though it was so enchanting, and every time I think about that trip, I'm just like, oh my God. Whereas a person might travel to Singapore 20 times for work, and really not like it that much. It's interesting to think about, right? The rating should probably have more weight than frequency, but both should be considered. Okay. The composite score adds real value, no shit, by showing the full picture of someone's travel relationship with each country. Yeah, that's basically what I said. Thanks for rephrasing. Okay, frequency normalization, making it personal. Since you want frequency relative to a user's own patterns, here are the options. Option A, percentile based, convert each country's visit count to a percentile within the user's data. If you visited 20 countries and Japan has more visits than 80% of them, then Japan is in the 80th percentile and maps to 4 out of 5. That makes sense. Cons. Small data sets get noisy if you've only visited 3 countries. Percentiles feel arbitrary. If you've only visited 3 countries, you're not using this app. So I think that's okay. Option B, rank-based normalization. Rank countries by visits, then normalize to 1 to 5 scale. Most visited is 5, least visited is 1, others distributed between. That's interesting. Pros, simple, robust outliers. 1 country with 50 visits won't skew everything. Cons, loses granularity. 10 visits and 11 visits might get the same score. Option C, log scale against personal max. Use logarithmic scaling relative to your most visited country. Frequency score is log visits divided by log max visits times 5. Captures diminishing returns. Going from 1 to 5 visits matters more than 20 to 25. Yes. Pros, mathematically elegant, handles wide range as well. Cons, still anchored to one extreme value, your max. I kind of like this one, actually. Option D, standard deviation, z-score. How many standard deviations above/below your average visit count, then normalized? Yeah. I agree with Claude's recommendation. I like the log scale. It naturally captures that going back repeatedly has diminishing returns while still being personalized to the user's max. I think that makes a lot of sense. On point 1, I agree with option C and the log scale approach. Okay. Well, let's move forward. Weighting strategy, combining rating plus frequency. Option A, weighted average. Super score is rating weight times rating plus frequency weight times normalized frequency. Example, the 60-40 split. 0.6 times rating plus 0.4 times frequency. That doesn't feel bad, like simple, straightforward. The choice to go with a 60-40 split is interesting. I probably agree with that. Although I might even, my gut almost says 70-30. 65, 35? I don't know. It's hard. How much does frequency matter? Because again, I think about my Slovenia example. How much did I really love Slovenia if I never went back? Like, that's an interesting thought. Maybe 60-40 does work, with 60 representing the rating and 40 representing frequency compared to a user's personal max. Anyway, yeah, pros, simple, predictable, easy to tune. Cons, a country with no rating but high frequency still gets a decent score. Yeah, but I mean, shouldn't it? Like, if you go to a place enough, that should mean something. Anyway, option B, multiplicative. That's such a nice word, multiplicative. Multiplicative. I love that. Multiplicative. Okay, super score is rating times frequency factor, where frequency factor is something like 0.8 plus normalized frequency times 0.4. Pros, rating dominates, frequency acts as a modifier boost, cons more complex to understand, harder to tune. Yeah, that feels unnecessarily complex. Option C, rating primary with frequency tiebreaker. Round to rating buckets, use frequency to differentiate within buckets. Super score is rating plus normalized frequency times 0.2. Pros, rating clearly dominates. Frequency only matters for similar ratings. I don't like this as much. I think that frequency should matter independent of rating. I think frequency is still like a meaningful data point on its own. Option D, conditional weighting. Different weights based on whether rating exists. If rated, 0.7 times rating plus 0.3 times frequency. If unrated, frequency times 0.5, capped lower since there's no explicit endorsement. Pros, handles the visited but not rated case thoughtfully. Yeah, actually, good point. Cons, more complex logic. My recommendation, D, conditional. It handles the unrated case gracefully and ensures rated countries always rank higher than equally visited unrated ones. This is hard because we do need to figure out how to handle cases in which the user has visited a country several times but hasn't given it any rating. Like, that's a valid edge case to consider. But option A, the weighted average, feels so much cleaner. Yeah, I don't know. Like, this feels so much cleaner to me. Okay, on point 2, I agree that we need to figure out a way to handle cases in which a user doesn't rate a country they've visited frequently. Although I prefer the simplicity of option A, so I am a bit torn. Also, hi, how's it going? Hey guys. Good instinct. You don't need to compliment me. Like, please. Like, I don't know. I find it so patronizing, borderline offensive when AI compliments me. Like, just please don't. I don't want you to compliment me. It's gross. It gives me the ick. Like, I know you're full of shit. Good instinct. Option A. Yeah. Just, I don't need you to compliment my instincts. Fuck off. Option A, simplicity is valuable and easier to explain to users. The question is really, what does no rating mean? Here are a few ways to handle unrated countries while keeping the simple weighted average formula. Approach 1, neutral default. Yeah, actually, treat no rating as neutral. The user hasn't expressed an opinion, so assume middle of the road. I like that at first glance, but actually I agree it does feel presumptuous. Yeah, I don't think that works. Approach 2, frequency inferred minimum. High visit frequency implies at least neutral sentiment. Again, feels presumptuous. And that's not true. Someone can visit a place 10 times for like work or some kind of other obligation that they hate. Let's not go with that. Approach 3, exclude from superscore. Only calculate superscore. I don't love that either. Approach 4, frequency only fallback. Keep the simple formula, but for unrated countries, use frequency alone scaled to max of 3, so they can never outscore rated countries. Claude likes option 4. Keeps the weighted average simplicity for rated countries. Ensures unrated countries are visible but clearly lesser. Again, that feels, presumptuous. I think all these options make too many assumptions about the user's preferences. Maybe we should just backtrack and go with option D, conditional. It might make the most sense. Hi guys. Feel free to say hi in the chat if you're here. I'm just doing some vibe coding. You're right. Option D. Like, even this, you're right. Like, I might not be right. I don't know. I just hate that shit. Okay, option D is more honest about uncertainty rather than guessing what no rating means. It simply says we have less information, so the score reflects that. Okay. Okay, quick sanity check on the weights. Yeah. Yeah. This actually tracks for me. I like this approach. The question about 70-30 versus 60-40 again. Like, my gut is a little, like, I'm a little torn there. Could we do 65-35? Yeah, this feels good to me. This feels good. Let's go with this approach for compiling the scores. Now let's dig. God, I feel like sometimes I type like an LLM. Like, did I used to type like this? Did I used to say things like, let's dig in? I don't remember. I don't like it though. I probably did. Like, that's a common thing to say. It just really annoys me that I'm sitting here talking to Claude, being like, let's dig in. I'm like, ew. Okay. Let's examine the other facets of this, particularly UX. I think we should probably have a primary map that is the first things users see that combines the frequency and rating scores, and then allow them to toggle between all three, the super score, frequency, and rating. I didn't read this. Oh yeah, recommends exactly what I meant to do. Cool. Good call. Leading with the super score makes sense since it's the most comprehensive view. Let me present some UX options. Three equal buttons. Favorites, visits, ratings. Yeah. I agree here that favorites might not be obvious. Like, what does favorites mean? That's not going to be immediately obvious to the user. Option B, primary plus secondary toggle. Yeah. I do worry about burying the other views, though. Option C, segmented control with visual hierarchy. 3 buttons, but the primary one is visually emphasized. Drop down for secondary views. Yeah. Yeah, this is I don't think it should be favorites. I think top countries makes more sense. I think favorites is a presumptive way to naming top countries with some language, with some clear language underneath explaining what factors are considered to make something a top country. Header. Top countries. Option A. Equal buttons, I agree. Hi guys. If anyone's here, say hi in the chat. Do you want to see how useless this ring light I bought is? Like, it's not even a ring light. This is the only thing I could find. It really is just like the most useless piece of garbage in the world that I got for 20 euro earlier today because it was all I could find. I understand that the purpose is like you put your phone here and it's not meant to go behind my laptop, but yeah, like, I don't know. Anyway, maybe if I'm just more clever about where I put it. But I feel like the lights are already like dimmer than they were when I turned it on. I don't know. It's so silly. I will actually break this. Whatever. Okay, what is Claude saying now? Okay. Explanatory text. This is one thing I actually enjoy, UX copywriting. Top countries are displayed based on combination of visit frequency and country rating. Making it more general so we can use the same copy on the share view. Because users can also share a link to their map with friends. Okay, header when active. Okay. Yeah, God, the colors again. Hate this. Picking the colors for the heat maps is like the bane of my existence in all of this. Okay, we need a third distinct color palette. Fuck me. Blue gradient. No. No. Ugh. Let's try option C. I feel like I got so much more engagement on these streams when I was doing them before, which may have just been because it was like the week of the holidays and everyone was home and fucking off, like bored looking for things to do. But it also might just be because I haven't done this in a while and I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Let me review the current controller and view structure before implementing. Okay. Implementing the changes. Cool. Controller add superscore calculation to countries data. View. Add third toggle button. Update default. Add explanatory text. JavaScript add get top country color function. Update view mode handling. Update legend. I feel like Claude and I are working together much more effectively tonight. This is good. It just needs a little guidance on how you want to work with it. Now I need to update the render map function to use the correct default color scheme, blah, blah, blah. God, I wish my bangs would just be normal today and not be so like flippy. Just be normal. Maybe that's better. Okay, well, let's see what we've got here. I'm excited. Well, first reaction, hate the colors, but we can come back to that. Let's see. This seems good. This seems good, honestly. Like, I do feel like this paints like a rather solid, like colors aside, because it looks like shit, literally. I do feel like this paints like a pretty solid picture of like my favorite places. And that's the point. So, or not just my favorite places, but like my travel history as a whole for Bulgaria. Visits, yeah. This is cool. This is really cool. I like how we've approached this. Okay. Well, let's fix the colors. Looks good, but the colors literally look like shit. Sorry. Ha, fair enough. Cyan, teal, no. Let's try a... Yeah, better. I don't like that the top countries are darker, though. I feel like the top countries should be brighter. Honestly, what if we just used the same colors? What if we just used the same colors as in the rating? Like, I feel like that might actually make some sense. I don't know. That's a smart idea. Fuck off. Okay. Please stop saying shit to me. Like, user wants me to stop the flattery and just implement the change. Yep. Done. Refresh to see it. Well, no, that's almost too cold. I don't know. Like, surely there's like a nice middle ground, right? Yeah. I think this is pretty much good. And it's interesting seeing like using the same colors for each of these map views. Like you can see visually the differences between what constitutes a highly rated country and a top country by just toggling back and forth. I think we might be giving frequency of visits too much weight. I think we might be giving frequency too much weight. Can we scale it back to 60/40? Wait. Okay, well, when we refresh, it'll be interesting to see, like, do any of these colors change? Like, it's a subtle change. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I really like South Korea, and I really like Slovenia. And the fact that they're yellow, I don't know, doesn't quite feel right. But I've only visited each of them once. Also, honestly, like, I really liked Sri Lanka. Like, I feel like it deserves a little better than that. Um, but no, I think overall this does make sense. Like, this is probably a pretty close to accurate representation. Let's test the shared link again. We haven't tested this in a while. Nice. So this is what when the user shares their travel map with a friend, this is what the friend can see. Cool. I like this. Let's excuse Okay, sorry. Just gonna say let's merge. And then I'm gonna eat leftovers from dinner earlier and go to bed. Added, oh my god, I did so much. Excuse me. Added, tired. A compilation rating that considers both travel frequency and country rating and combines to create a super score with a primary map view, visualizing super score and can toggle to see frequency or rating heat map. Whatever, commit. Okay, deploy. Deplot. Deplot. Anyway, so this is fun. It's a good warm up for me getting back into this again. And yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch this, but if you are, drop a comment. And I'll keep doing more of these streams, assuming anyone cares or wants to see them. I think part of the problem too is that my Twitter account has been like, whatchamacallit? What's the word they use for it? Limited. My Twitter account has been limited due to suspicious activity, which is really funny. I'm pretty sure suspicious activity is just me liking some tweets that could be considered far left, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, gonna go ahead and head to bed, but we'll do this again soon. Ciao, ciao.